Britain is unprepared for the worsening impacts of climate change, such as flooding and extreme heat. That's according to the country's independent climate advisers. The Climate Change Committee says more than 6 million homes and properties in England are currently at risk of flooding and warned the number of early deaths from heat waves is projected to rise. Here's Justin Rolat.
Everybody get back, shouts an emergency worker as a wave of floodwater rushes down the high street in Tenbury Wells in Worcestershire.
So here's what happened. Loads of rain, the drains backed up so there was already water on the street. Then the brook rose up from the level there to this wall. The wall collapsed, releasing that wave of water onto the street.
Locals say it's the 7th time the town has been flooded in the last 4 years. The flood was a disaster for a local charity shop.
The wall came down and we had a tsunami. It was an absolute disaster. We got all our Christmas stuff ready, lost it because it was foul water. We were closed for 3 months.
The government says it can't afford the £30 million scheme that would stop flooding in Tenbury. Today, the Climate Change Committee said the government isn't doing enough to protect the entire country from the extreme weather climate change is bringing. It says 1 in 4 houses could be at risk of flooding by 2050, as well as half of our roads and railways. Heat already causes thousands of deaths in the UK, but the total could exceed 10,000 a year by the middle of the century.
The manifesto said it was going to address this issue of resilience, and yet so far it's done nothing. This is not a tomorrow problem. It's a today problem, and if we don't address it today, it becomes a disaster tomorrow.
The government insists it does take preparing the country for climate change seriously, with £2.6 billion of new money for flood protection, including £400,000 for Tenbury Wells.
What the Climate Change Committee says is you are simply not doing enough.
Well, they're absolutely right to hold our feet to the fire, but we absolutely know, of course, there's more that needs to be done. We're already starting to work across government at this issue because we know and acknowledge climate change is real. It's a very real threat.
It took months for the residents of Tenbury Wells to clean up their town, but events like this will only become more common and more severe as humanity continues to warm the planet. Justin Rolat, BBC News, Tenbury Wells.